G'day, I'm Peter Sesselmann, and today I'm looking at making like a tiny little PA practice setup, or maybe for a tiny gig, or just for something to have at home and rehearsing, that you can plug a few little bits and pieces into without breaking the bank. So I have one of these Behringer little monitor things here. It's Eurolive B205D. Okay, sounds okay, but as you can probably tell, it has no bass in it. There's no bass response whatsoever. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to wire it. It doesn't have an audio out for some reason. It would have been really handy for those to have just a little aux, but nah. So what I was going to do is I was going to put a little aux in, so I can send whatever, because it has like a little mixer at the front of it. So you can plug in a microphone, a guitar, bits and pieces, and then mix them there. And then I'm going to have the aux out so that you can plug in a subwoofer. So a subwoofer and one of these together will give you like a pretty decent little practice system. So I'm just going to show you how to wire an aux into this unit. Okay, so here's the unit. Now, in order to get to the inside, we've got to take these screws out. So we take these ones here because we're going to basically crack the unit in half. There's some screws here. There's one in there and one there. It's just normal Phillips screwdriver. As you can see that. So they just come out, and you can see I've done that already. Just take a bit of time. And then this basically comes apart. So now we can look inside. So what do we have here? We've got the huge speaker. Now this actually says it's 400 watts. Okay. This is the preamp that you can see at the front here, that's here, and this is the power amp and the power supply at the back there. So what I'm looking for here is the signal that travels from the preamp to the power amp. So I can break into that, or I can break into the speaker. Most subwoofers will allow you to plug a speaker signal into it. So you could break into the speaker plug. Then you could also maybe just have an external speaker which is not powered. Maybe I don't see the point in that. Or you can break into the audio that before it goes to the power amp. So that's, I'm assuming that's that little black cable here. I think this is a power cable that brings power to the mixer. And there's 4 cables there, so probably one is phantom power and one is just power. This here goes back to the inputs at the back. You can see there, so I'm assuming that's just some kind of input into the mixer. Over here we've got 2 thick cables, so that'll be the power in, I reckon. That's a 240 volts into the power supply. Power returns back with this cable here, and then audio returns back to the amp through this black cable, and then returns back to the speaker through this black and red cable. Now I'm going to break into this black cable, because I'm going to try and do an auxiliary out, which is a line signal. And that's what this would be, I reckon. So I can plug it into another amp if I want to, rather than just having the speaker out. But I say you could use speaker out as well, but then you're limited to just using it with a subwoofer. So let's do that now. Fairly straightforward. What I'll need, let me see. I have my stack over here. I'll probably use a chassis jack, I reckon, jack plug. It's easy to install. Just use a jack-to-jack guitar plug to put it into to anything you want to plug it into. If you want to plug it into a subwoofer, you would need a jack to RCA plug. They're also fairly commonly available, or an adapter. So you can get, let me see, you can get adapters look like this. It's got a jack plug there and RCA there. Okay, so here we go. It's that black cable there that I'm interested in. I'm just going to cut it in the middle here. Snip it like that and have a look. Okay, so I've tested the cables. So you can see you have a shield and you have red and white going between the preamp and the power amp. So I've made up a cable here which is shield and red because it's mono. Now, according to what I worked out, the white and shield have the same function, although they're not connected together. So I'm just gonna hook my cable up to the red and shield, and the white will just pass through like normal. I'll just solder them back together again, basically. So I'll do that now. You can see now I've soldered all the grounds together. Then the 2 whites are soldered together, and the 3 reds together. So of course the 3 reds is one is my new cable, and the other 2 are the ones that used to be just straight through. So now basically tapped into that cable. Now I need to put some heat shrink or tape onto those ends so that they don't touch. And then I'm ready to put the plug in the chassis. So you can see now I've soldered the jack plug at the end, and I put some, where are we? Some heat shrink on the cables there. Can we get that in focus? Yep, there we go. So that's all ready to go. Now all I've got to do is drill a little hole in the side here for the jack plug to go through, and we're rock and rolling. I'm using this stepper drill. I just happen to know that the second last step is the perfect hole for the jack plugs. There's the hole, and there's the jack plug. You can see from the inside here. So there you have it. Here we got the Behringer speaker now with an auxiliary out jack. So what we've got to do then is plug that into a subwoofer, and we should have a decent little sound system. Let's go. Okay, so I've got a Behringer amp here, got my subwoofer, got my stomp box pedal. Now everything is going through the Behringer. The Behringer goes out into the subwoofer amp.